Alrighty, time for another new moon report. This is Manda, with True Sky Astrology 13, giving you the new moon in Sagittarius happening on January 18th at 11:52 Pacific time. So if you have Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Sagittarius, or any strong placements, any planetary placements in Sagittarius, this is going to be an especially powerful new moon. We started the lunar year with a new moon in Ophiuchus on December 19th. And at that point, the sun had just entered into Sagittarius. And that was a very powerful new moon that sort of set the tone, you could say, for the whole year as being a theme around healing, and particularly healing oneself and one's connection to source, whatever that is for you. And really, you may have found some deep inner work coming up, repressed energy, repressed ideas, thoughts, feelings coming up for reflection and review and ultimately release during that first lunar cycle of Ophiuchus. So since then, we've been in the Sagittarius energy, and we'll be in it until about the 22nd of January, and then the sun will shift into Capricorn. And I am using the True Sky astrology, so if you're following tropical or Vedic, this chart won't make any sense to you, but this is actually what's going on in the sky. Tropical and Vedic are man-made systems, and they're not accurate to the natural sky. So we have a very powerful lineup here in Sagittarius, kicking off this new moon. And Sagittarius is all about the truth, our truth. And with the moon and the sun together there in Sagittarius, combined with Venus and Mars, this is really going to be a very powerful beginning of the lunar month in terms of not only our inner relationship to truth, but also our outer relationship to our truth. And with Mercury there also, there may be a lot of conversation, a lot of interaction, a lot of relating. And when I say relating, I mean the difference between relating and relationship. Relating is when you're coming from your own truth, your own experience, and sharing that with another. And relationship to me is more dealing with the traditional ideologies around relationship and what's expected from the other, and what you expect from yourself also in relation to the other. So I see relationship as being more connected with programming and conditioning, and we have to go into that to learn who we are. And this particular new moon to me is encouraging us to really stand in our own truth and to really respect the truth of the other also in a deeper way, where sometimes conflict arises in relating, in communicating, especially if both people or the people involved are being very authentic. And you have the opportunity to speak from your own truth, from your own experience, instead of focusing on the other and their truth and their experience. So anyone who's in relationships, romantic relationships, may find this to be a very transformative time, and possibly quite fiery. Especially with Jupiter having an opposition in Gemini, retrograde, to the sun and the moon. And this adds another layer of complexity to the dynamics of the energy unfolding with this new moon. Jupiter being retrograde, the expansion and the revelation that Jupiter can bring will be very much internalized in the beginning. And I feel this lineup that we have in Sagittarius being focused around your truth and your experience of the truth is being supported by Jupiter in the sense that it's in Gemini, and Gemini has a lot to do with duality, internal duality in this situation with Jupiter retrograde, and being able to see where you're fighting with yourself, where the mind is fighting with itself, or where you're repressing what you're feeling in favor of an idea or something from the past. So this is going to give an opportunity to really come into present time with your own experience of the truth and to share that in an authentic way, and to take the risk that it's going to be received. And if it isn't, that's okay too, because that's part of being authentic, is standing in your own truth. It doesn't mean you're aggressive or you're telling somebody else what their truth is. It's just about giving oneself the freedom and the permission to really be who you are in any given moment, in this moment, and not allowing the mind to come in and control your expression or your experience of yourself. So quite a powerful new moon cycle that we're kicking off. And Mars in Sagittarius is very energized and really wants to get to the truth. In Sagittarius, he also there would be a lot of energy around expanding your awareness to the bigger picture of life and the bigger picture of the universe and the cosmos and your place in it, your connection to it, and your internal source that is part of it, part of that oneness that we exist in. So Mars will be giving a lot of support, a lot of energy to that. And then Venus there, looks like she's just actually entering into Capricorn. So that brings a lot of grounding in the heart, connection with nature, patience, moving one step at a time. And it's actually a very nice balance to all this Sagittarius energy. So she's getting ready to pass over Pluto in Capricorn. This could reveal some very deep feelings in your heart that you may not have been aware of or may not have been expressing or sharing. And it will add an extra layer of dynamic energy to this new moon cycle, where this is a time over the few days of the new moon where you may find you're able to get in touch with some very deep feelings that you have in regards to how your heart feels about the practical reality that you're in, that you find yourself in. And it'll also give you, with Venus there, the patience and the compassion for yourself and others to just slow down and not take things too seriously. The opposite of Capricorn is Cancer. So, that's about really nurturing yourself and loving yourself through this process and being nurturing and loving to others when you can, and using the energy to transform repressed feelings, things that you may have been hiding from yourself, hiding from others, to just allow these things to open up. With Pluto there, it's going to bring some light into the depths of your soul. So to me, this whole cycle really does have a lot to do with relating with, for two luminaries and Mercury and Mars in Sagittarius, it's a great time to really allow the truth to reveal itself to you, because soon enough the sun will be shifting into Capricorn, and when that happens, we'll have the opportunity to bring these truths into physical manifestation and to start, building a structure based on what has been revealed to us, what we've seen of our own truth in this lunar cycle, and bringing it to an end from the Ophiuchus new moon. So the healing continuing, and at this time listening and being receptive and open to what is real for you could be very powerful, very transformative. And we still have Uranus in Taurus. It's not going to be going direct for a while. So this is also a very grounding influence, that any changes that are coming in or any situations you encounter that might be slightly unsettling or triggering, Uranus is going to ground that energy with Taurus into your heart, into your connection with Venus being the ruler there, and her being in Capricorn. There's a very nice trine, very nice flow of energy here, moving from the Sun and Moon over to Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, and then down to Uranus. So we also might find that there's an opportunity here to really get clear with ourselves about what our soul, our spark of the whole, our spark of the divine source, is feeling called to share in the world. This process has been going on all year, and it will reach an exact conjunction with Saturn and Neptune in the middle of February 15th of this year. But this has been an ongoing process of really getting to the depth of who we are now in present time, and using the discipline and the patience of Saturn in that process. Anything that comes up around the world, around tradition, around family values, anything that feels limiting or restricting to our expression of who we are, has been coming up for review, to see it, to feel it, and to allow ourselves to move beyond it. So all in all, a beautiful new moon cycle, powerful, fiery new moon cycle that we're moving into. And you'll find you have a lot more energy for this lunar cycle than you did maybe for the Ophiuchus from December 19th. This is a much more energized lunar month. And as we move forward, Mars, Mercury will also start shifting into Capricorn, and we're going to start feeling the grounding, slowing down effects of that energy coming in and giving us support and stabilizing. Also, these Mars, Mercury are also going to pass over Pluto, as is the Sun and the Moon. So there will be some intensity at the beginning of this lunar cycle with the Moon and the Sun passing over Pluto. But we can use this energy to get to the truth of whatever we need to get to the truth of. And we have a choice as to whether we want to communicate this or not. That's up to each person. But at least getting clear about what's true for you at this time. And with the South Node in Leo, we're also maybe reflecting over situations from the past, relationships from the past where we gave away our freedom, and things related to our heart, experiences of the heart. They may be coming up for reflection, and you may see them differently in this cycle. You may have new vision as to how you see these things. But the movement is towards Aquarius, which is where the North Node is. And this is encouraging us to have a certain sense of detachment from whatever content is arising in the mind, and to just remember and to settle into the fact that we're the one observing the content. We're the witness of the content. We're not the content. The content keeps changing. It keeps moving. It keeps transforming. But the one who's aware of it stays the same, stays aware. And that's the powerful gift that Uranus, who rules Aquarius, where the North Node is, can give us, this ability to detach from our emotions and our feelings, the South Node in Leo, that may be connected with the past, and to really let the past be the past, and to look forward to the future, to focus on the future instead of the past. And the future with the North Node in Aquarius is about really getting the big picture of things and our place in the universe, and allowing ourselves to be awakened by Uranus and to see the truth and not to be afraid of it. And if fear comes up in any of these processes during this new moon cycle, giving ourselves permission to remember that fear is just the absence of love, and that when we can remember when fear arises, to focus on love, to focus on trusting life, that everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing that needs to be fixed. There's no problems that need to be sought out and analyzed. That we can just sit in the truth of our experience and trust that this is exactly what needs to be happening right now, because this is what's happening. And that as a part of the oneness, as a part of the whole, we don't have control over this, but we are held in this oneness. The universe loves us, and if we can stay with the love, then the fear will diminish, and we'll find it easier to navigate the powerful energies that this new moon is initiating on January 18th. So thank you for joining me. I really appreciate everyone who's subscribed to my channel, everyone who listens to these broadcasts. And if you're more interested to get more specific about where this new moon, which house it's happening in your individual chart, you can go down below in the description. There's a chart calculator, a free chart calculator. You can see your chart and look for Sagittarius with the purple arrow, or the purple background with the arrow. Look for what house Sagittarius occupies in your chart. And that's where this new truth, this new awareness will be coming in your particular life, in your individual life. And of course, if you ever need to have your natal chart read, I would love to do that. I also do composite relationship charts, moving from relationship to relating. And I also do transits for people who've already had birth chart readings with me throughout the year for times of transition and change, and just for more clarity about the energies that are available to you, your unique individual chart. at the moment or moving forward through 2026. So that's it for now. Sending lots of love out to whoever's listening to this, and I look forward to coming back to you with more True Sky Astrology 13 in the near future.